Hello, hello, hello. Not sure if it's working. Just going to have to wait for somebody to pop in and say, yes, I can hear you. There seems to be a bit of a delay this end, but I'm just going to keep going. There's a couple of things I want to talk about in this video. But as usual, my new routine at the moment, I know this wasn't what I planned to do on a Friday afternoon, is it right? There's somebody arrived. Maybe they can tell me if they can hear me or see me. There seems to be a huge delay at this end. So let's just see what this person says that turns up. Can you hear my voice? And can you see me? And does it sound reasonable to you? If not, I don't know what to do. So leave a comment. The person that's just turned up, leave a comment and tell me if you can hear me, and then we can start. Because I've literally just come home from work. But we know that's not true, though, don't we? We know that I've been for a drive in the sunshine in my new car that's really old car. And so I've just come in. Oh, hi, George. George is here in the house, and he says, it's me and you're fine. Okay. I seem to have a slight delay here. I don't know why, because I'm the only one in the house. There's no one else using Wi-Fi. I'm using quite a new laptop, and it doesn't seem to be, I don't know. I've just been out for a drive in the sunshine in my new, really, really old car. I like to go out once a week on a Friday afternoon. I know this isn't exactly what I promised I would do on a Friday afternoon, but it's a great distraction from all the problems we're having with the in-laws. Father-in-law is still in hospital, but you'd think I would just fall into the carb ditch and just go to hell with it. But I'm not throwing away 7 months of effort. For those that follow me a long time, you know that I've only lost 19.5 pounds in that 7 months. And the thought of just quitting at this point doesn't sound very tempting. Also, seeing the state that my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are in at the moment, and I believe they are in a state because they've followed the nutritional guidelines of don't eat any fat, don't eat any meat, eat loads of grains, eat cereal for breakfast and potatoes and vegetables and their absolute trust in the medical system, meaning that they are more happy to take whatever injections, pills they're given. And I'd like to think that my choice to not follow in their footsteps is going to mean that at their age I'm going to be a lot stronger. So I see, yeah, I'm not going to go on about that too much, but then it does form part of my why. You know, one of my why is, yes, no carb ditch. Absolutely not. People at work can't believe I'm still going. I will talk about that in a minute. That does form part of this. You might be able to see it on this. My title is What About the Fibre? Did have a conversation with a work colleague today. Not calling out any names, but let's face it, 99.9999 recurring % of people think that we should be eating our fruit and veg. We should be cutting off our fat. What about your cholesterol? What about your fibre? So I'm going to have a chat about what he said, she said in a minute. But yes, just finish up this thing with the in-laws. Father-in-law is still in hospital, has been for a week. Doesn't seem to be getting any better at the moment. Multiple things wrong, as it tends to be when you have someone in their 90s in hospital these days. Multiple things wrong. And I'm going to visit him tonight. He rang me in the middle of the night 2 weeks ago. I'd just gone to sleep. He woke my son up as well. Say, can I come home now? And I'm in a stretcher. I'm on a stretcher somewhere. And I rang up the ward, and he wasn't on a stretcher. He was in the bed, the nice safe bed that I'd put him in. So that freaked me out a little bit because I hadn't heard him in that sort of state. And now I'm going to see him tonight. He apparently is in that same state. So, and you would think I'd go on a massive carb bender. Let's go and eat all the rubbish. Life's just too hard right now. Let's go and eat all the rubbish. But I've come so far, and seeing them in the state they're in, I feel really, really confident that if my father-in-law and mother-in-law right now went fully carnivorous right now, they would reverse their ailments, their problems. Their brains would come back to life. Their bodies would get stronger, provided they're willing to do lots and lots of exercise as well to build the muscle up, eat loads of steak, get their brains working again. And I think if you're tuned into this, you're probably agreeing with me. We've only got George here at the moment. We did have a couple of people come in, but they're maybe not my regulars. But I'm hoping that we get some more people. If you have any more, if you want, ask me any questions, George. Otherwise, I'll talk about that little conversation I had today. It's fairly typical. All of you will have had this conversation before. Well, that doesn't sound... She actually did say the words. This person did say the words. That doesn't sound very healthy. We have to remind ourselves that, you know, back in the day, we believed everything they believed or still believe, you know. I was a slimming consultant for a few years and I was paid, not very much, to spout this stuff. Eat your fruit and veg. Cut out your fat, you know. Don't eat too many egg yolks because it's going to put your cholesterol up. And if you've got high cholesterol, only have like 5 eggs a week. I was spouting that stuff myself. So, and I was brainwashed then, you know. So I need to remind myself that I was brainwashed like they were back in the day. And then I just got pulled out of it. And most people won't be. And I have to know that's okay and not to be upset about it, even though it's frustrating at times. But all the time I hear people at work moaning that they're hungry. When's lunchtime? I hear the children complaining that they're hungry. I work with small children. They're always hungry. By 9 o'clock in the morning, they are already asking me, when's lunch? When's lunch? I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? And then I ask them what they had for breakfast, and it will be something like Cocoa Pops or something like that. And there's absolutely no... Sometimes I say, well, no wonder you're hungry, but I know there's absolutely no point in really reiterating on that. They're 3-year-olds. They don't understand why they are hungry because they haven't eaten any protein or fat. And don't even get me started on the lunch boxes. Wow. I don't see any protein in any of the lunch boxes. It's all fruit, veg, grains. So that's a bit alarming. And seed oils, of course. So, so the conversation today was 2 women that I work with moaning about being hungry at about 11:45. And I said, well, see, I can't resist it, can I? I think this is why I'm drawn to carnivore, because I can't resist saying things like, well, I'm not hungry because I had 4 burgers for breakfast. And they're like, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. I had a pound of beef for breakfast this morning. I've gone back to beef in the morning because it's just so much better for me. I can, George. Yep. This is what I'm going to get onto as well. This fibre thing. Fibre free for 18 months, never better in the bathroom department. Exactly. I mean, I tell people I haven't eaten fibre in 10 years. And that's probably not 100% true, because at some point in that 10 years, I may have eaten something that had a small amount of it in there. But it is certainly true that I have been actively avoiding fibre for 10 years. You know, it was 10 years ago I discovered, more than 10 years ago now, that I discovered that fibre isn't quite what people are told it is. And so I stopped actively seeking it out. And so I tend to tell people that I haven't eaten it in 10 years because basically I pretty much haven't, even when I'm off the carnivore train. Well, not now, 7 months in. But I don't want any fibre even then because I know it's going to upset me. So anyway, I said, yes, I've had my 4 burgers for breakfast. And then one of the other colleagues said, oh, yes, don't get her started on her carnivore thing. Don't get her started. And then the person said, well, it doesn't sound very healthy. Doesn't sound very healthy. And I said, well, actually, it is really, really healthy. She said, but I said, well, I have lost weight as well. And she said, and of course, if you say that, people are like, yeah, but you're going to have a heart attack though, aren't you? Why are you telling me you lost weight? That's not an indicator. And she's right, actually. You know, the weight loss isn't the only indicator of health. She said, but you're missing out on so many things. And I said, well, like what? Like, what am I missing out on? She said, well, you're missing out on your fruits and vegetables. And I said, well, I haven't really eaten any fruits and vegetables for 10 years. She said, oh. She's looking at me as if to say, well, you look like you're okay. I mean, I've eaten fruit or veg in the last 10 years, but like with the fibre, I haven't been actively seeking it out. I may have had a sprout or two at Christmas or something like that, but we don't bother with vegetables in our house that much. And we haven't had fruit in the house for years now. It is actually years now, none of us having fruit. Because I don't think it's very healthy for you to eat fruit, actually, which is amazing for some people. And I said, well, I eat a lot of fat. I cook I love a reaction. I think I'm a little bit like my father in I think this is why carnivore suits me, because I love a reaction. I love saying to people, well, I cook all my food absolutely swimming in lard, dripping. And then I normally throw some extra fats in there. I'm not eating, but they're all carnivore. I got, goose fat, duck fat, a lot of fat. And she said, aren't you worried about your cholesterol? I said, no. She said, what's your cholesterol like? I said, probably really high, but I'm not worried about it. I love that it's high. I love that. I love a reaction. You got to have something, haven't you? You know, eating this way isn't exactly the most funnest thing you can do, but it is fun for me to get a reaction talking to people about it. So I like that. Yes. I think that's all we talked about. She said to me, but what about your fibre? What about your fibre? I said, I don't eat fibre because my stomach doesn't really agree. It doesn't agree with my stomach. It upsets my stomach. So I haven't actually eaten fibre in 10 years. Another lovely face reaction. Loved it. Yeah, great conversation. But I just hope I don't have some kind of heart event in the next year, because the people I work with are going to have a field day with that one. Oh, look at her with her 4 burgers for breakfast, and now she's had a heart event. Yeah, okay. Fee's here. Hello, Fee. Sorry, that didn't sound very exciting, did it? Fee's here. Fee's in the house. Hello. I'm not very organised. If you just turned up, I think you probably have just turned up. Father-in-law's in hospital, so it's an extra Y. So the next time I am interviewed in the future about this way of eating, I am going to include my mother-in-law and my father-in-law in my Y, because I firmly believe, from what I've learned over the last 10 years, that the reason they are in this state in the first place, and let's not forget, this isn't a new thing that he's poorly. They have been, it's a horrible expression, but I do believe it to be true. This is just my opinion. It's in my opinion that they've been dying slowly for a long time, like my mum was. And I don't want to be dying slowly for a long time. I want to be thriving and bouncing for as long as I can. I do work in a nursery, so they do destroy me a little bit in there. I can't promise that when I come out of there at 3:15, I'm completely full of beans, but I bounce back pretty quick. As soon as I've got home and sat down for half an hour and just chilled for a little bit, I'm back to myself again. So I do bounce back. But yes, we got. I've got to visit my father-in-law later, who's gone a little bit. Other expressions you're not allowed to use these days. He's a little bit away with the fairies at the moment because he's got an infection. So he's on multiple drugs for that. He's now got fluid on the lungs to add to the joys. So we're just waiting to see what happens with that. So George says, the last time I ate fibre was a few olives. The result was dramatic and malodorous. I haven't even heard that word before. Is this a new word? No more fibre ever. Oh, I know. And if you've seen my interview with Dave Mack on No Carb Life, you'll know that my husband doesn't like it if I eat fibre because he wakes up dead in the morning. So I don't eat anything. I have to be. And the further down the line I go with this, the more I'm incredibly cautious of the fact that if I did go and eat something, say somebody talked me into going to eat a one-off pizza, even if I was able to get back to carnivore afterwards, can you imagine the state my guts would be in very quickly afterwards? My guts probably could not stand wheat now, and they've never particularly liked tomato. So the thought of what my stomach would be like after an event like that, That's enough to put me off. That's enough to make me say, just give me the meat. Give me the meat. I'm done. So George and Fee are saying hi to each other. Hi, Fee. And then George goes, and Fee says, hi, George. Yeah. Hi, George. Hi, Fee. Malodorous, just a polite way of saying stinky. Oh, malodorous. Why have I not heard this word? I'm going to have to look that up. Malodorous. Good one. Yeah. Yeah. Stinky. Yeah. Stinky bum syndrome. Yeah, we're not going there. But yeah, it was quite fun having that conversation with that person at work today, because I just love a reaction. I love this. And I've just been out in my car. Even that is just to get a reaction, really, because I've now got the most interesting. See, some people might not say, how can that be the best car in the car park at work? I'll tell you why. Because it's the lowest, the oldest, the most interesting. No one else in the car park has got the guts to drive around in something so ridiculous that could literally break down at any minute. It makes some very cool noises, and it's very 90s, and it's come along at just about the right time right now, because I don't want to talk too much about my carnivore journey, because I don't need to at the moment, and with the in-laws and with work, just having something like that to distract me. I might talk about the car one more time in this video, and then I'll try not to talk about it too much, because not everyone's interested in cars, but I was in need of a distraction. And Jill said about egg whites, you see, yeah, egg whites can cause bloating. Currently experimenting with eating the yolks only. Yeah. See, I was doing that, but I was feeding some egg whites to my chickens, which I know I don't have at the moment. We don't have any chickens at the moment. It's really horrible when you go from giving them all your scraps to having no one to give the scraps to. That was quite upsetting. And no, it wasn't a fox attack. And no, it wasn't that thing they're talking about in the news either. None of those two things. Yeah. And Fee said avoiding egg whites too. So we've ended up I'm just eating the egg whites at the moment, because I don't want to throw them in the bin. But when we get some new chickens, we're going to get some in the spring when the weather's, well, actually we're heading to the spring now, so it's probably time to start thinking about it. We've been too busy to think about it. My husband's normally really obsessed about when we get new chickens, but the situation with his parents being not great at the moment we just don't have time to think about it, but we will get it sorted. And then I can start having my egg yolks again and feeding the whites to the birds. Good protein. Yeah. So yeah, I've just been out for a little drive. I know that not everyone's interested in this. I know, but I was told that I'm allowed to talk about other things occasionally on my channel. I don't have to always talk about the carnivore diet. So I just went out for a little drive in my little 90s thing. Look, it's a 90s thing. How fun is that? I went to Newlands Corner, which is a local spot, parked up, took a photo of it, and then came home again. Enjoyed every second. It does mean, though, that I'm nearly late for my live on a Friday. So I just turn up, quick, put the laptop on, quick, put your glasses on, have a glass of water, quick. What I have done, though, is put some chicken thighs in the oven. They're on a really, really low heat, and I'll be eating those before I go up to the hospital later, so that I'm going to make sure I have all of them, all the thighs I've put in the oven. So I'm really full, so that when I go to the hospital later, I'm not tempted to wander into the M&S cafe thing they've got going on in there and buying something I shouldn't. So yeah, so not in the carb ditch. Had my pound of beef for breakfast. Going to have some chicken in a minute. Yeah, it's crazy times. Really, really crazy times. It's my why is and actually there is one thing I wanted to talk to you about today that I thought about when I was at lunch today. I had a bit of a breakthrough today. For those of you following my channel, you may remember I was talking about how food that other people eat not looking much like food that you would want to eat. And today, I have to say, I mean, we're about the where are we? just over the 7-month point. I was sitting there and I was just watching all the kids eating all their different things. And today I was not interested. Not interested in what they were going to eat. Not that I was fully interested in before, but what I mean is that you reach a point where the food starts to look completely pointless, like it's a food for a different species, like as if someone's just arrived from another planet and that's their food. It's starting to look like that for me today. That was quite interesting because I'd already had this thought, and then we had this conversation with the work colleague about the fact that I was doing the carnivore lifestyle. And I said, yeah, and it's actually, I said to her, what's really interesting is it's got to the point now this week where I'm looking at all this stuff that the kids have got in their lunch boxes and I'm not interested in any of it. It doesn't even look like food. So I think I need to do a video on that one. I think I need to do that at some point over the weekend. I need to do a video about that because I think that's quite important. It's another breakthrough, another step forward in the journey. So I was quite pleased about that. That's I think that's going to warrant another video, hopefully tomorrow. Also, my youngest son hurt himself playing football this week. Managed to elbow himself in the ribs. How do you elbow yourself in the ribs? Oh my goodness me. It's just one thing after another in this house at the moment. But I've got my car. And I'm going to have to get a sign made up to put in the kitchen. I've got a sign at the moment in the kitchen that says, if in doubt, put the kettle on. I'm thinking I need a sign made up that says, if in doubt, go and look at the car. Go and look at the Calibra. Go and look at it. Just go look at the 90s-ness. I am crazy. I am absolutely crazy. I know. Now, George says, Lainey swears by duck eggs. I just haven't had duck eggs. So are you saying that the duck egg whites are good, or just the yolk, or all of it? Because I know that a lot of people are reacting to chicken egg whites. But I just haven't got time. I actually haven't even got time to work out whether I should be having the whites or not. I'm just eating them. Our life at the moment has got to the point where I haven't even got time to analyze the effect of the whites on my stomach. I'm just eating them and getting on with my life. And if it makes me bloated, I probably didn't notice. So maybe they don't. Maybe they don't for me. I don't know. Yeah, duck eggs. Whites are smaller, yolks are richer. I don't know why I haven't had duck eggs. I don't know why. I do know about them, obviously. I just don't know why I haven't had them. I just probably need to get hold of some. My son works in a farm shop, so I'll ask him later when he comes in if they've got duck eggs in there. Yes, George, duck eggs are my favourite too, Jill says. And strangely, the whites of those don't cause me trouble. So there is a chicken thing then, not a duck thing. Okay. Well, seeing as I'm now buying eggs, I think I need to go and have a look around, see if I can find some duck eggs in my local farm shop or similar. I've got a lot of little farm shops around where I am, so I should be able to get some of those. I don't know whether you guys are getting them from a supermarket or whether you're going to a special sort of specialist farm shop. I feel like they probably do sell them. I just haven't thought of it really. I just we're so busy at the moment. I'm just buying whatever eggs I see, and which is annoying. It's annoying. Sophie reckons that I would notice if the whites weren't agreeing with you. Well, I certainly feel absolutely fine when I eat a plate of bacon and eggs. So maybe they are agreeing with me because I haven't noticed anything specific bad after I eat them. So M&S are selling duck eggs. Okay. Our local M&S is not that local, but I might try and do that. And Feast has not seen duck eggs for sale here. Okay. Well, I need to go on a mission then. I need to distract myself from all the things I need distracting from and see if I can get some duck eggs somewhere. My eldest son will be back in a second. He'll probably disrupt my my live, and we'll see see if he's got them in his shop. He may do. Rarely in supermarkets, mainly good barchers. Apparently, you can get them from a good barcher. Good butchers, farm shops. Okay. Right. I'm going to find out. Yes, so we have got some sun out today, so I'm feeling bad that I'm not sitting in it. So I'm not going to do this live for really long. I might try and cut it short at 45 minutes today. Because I really like to go and sit in the sun in the garden for a bit. People at work are shocked by me because I said that over half term I sat in the garden. I think I'm different to other people in almost every way possible. I'm interested in old cars. I sit in the sun even in February when everyone else doesn't. I eat a carnivore lifestyle. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the doctors. I'm just so, it must be very, very tricky just even talking to me if you don't feel the same way as I do about stuff. But I like a reaction, so that what fits in well. I'm sitting in the sun at work. George, you're sitting in the sun. Oh, right then. You do know that makes me want to cut this short. So I'm going to go at 45 minutes today because I feel like I really should be out there. But we are supposed to be getting sun for a week. And if you're looking at this video from abroad, a different country, the UK is having a sunny snap. In fact, the mainstream media are going to be all over this. The UK is at boiling point. We're at boiling point. You know, all the polar bears are going to fall over. But look, we've got some things coming up here. We've got some sunny things coming up here. Sun, sun, sun. Come on. We're having sunshine. I'm going to have to go out there now. And Georgia, I'm jealous. So, yeah. I have ordered some whiskey in for my husband. I'm hoping I don't end up drinking it myself. Let's hope I don't go there. I said to him, I feel like we need some emergency whiskey with everything's going on. We haven't got anything strong in the house at the moment. And I feel like at some point in the next week or month or something, he's going to need that. So I've got to avoid it myself. I never drink, but let's hope I'm not driven to it by news. It is stressful. It has been a very stressful time. But I'm not going to bore you with that, but it does form part of my why. Their failing health just strengthens my why. Whenever I see anyone with failing health, I think, right, if I keep going with carnivore, fingers crossed, I may be able to avoid that thing happening to me. I mean, he's been laying down straight for a week now, so now sarcopenia, muscle wastage is kicking in. So he's going to be weaker when he comes out. So, yeah. So I'm going to go and see him later. I'm not looking forward to that. And they're going to make me put a mask on, which I don't do. But I've said to my husband, I will do it for him. I've said, don't you go tonight. I'll take it on the chin tonight. I don't wear masks, but I will for you and for him briefly if I have to, but for the shortest amount possible, because I don't believe they do you good wearing those. And George says, my job is great when it's sunny, but can be wet and cold. Exactly like my job then. Because my job, I'm outside all the time with the kids. So when it's sunny, lovely job. When it's wet and cold, very bad job. So the last couple of days have been really welcome to actually be able to have some sun on our face. Yesterday we had a bit of cloud coming by, but today, full sun. I ended up being inside quite a bit, so I need to make sure that I get some before the sun goes down today. So I'm going to try and find a little sunny spot in the garden. Now that we're heading towards March, the sun is very slightly higher than it was in the middle of December. I should be able to get some sun. It's so important. People just don't understand me when I say, oh, got to get sun in your eyes for vitamin D. I got that from Lisa Wiedemann. Oh, people going around wearing sunglasses all the time. I had to mention to my husband that he really should try and spend some time outside in the sun without his contact lenses in, because he's struggling with low vitamin D because of the time of year. And I said, as soon as that sun gets a bit stronger, you need to spend some time outside and take your contact lenses out and get the vitamin D in there. If anything I've just said is incorrect information, please say, but I feel like it sounds reasonable. Yeah, can't wait to get some sun on me. Can't wait to get the hose pipe out at work as well and spray the kids with it. Brilliant. But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I think I've talked about everything I said I was going to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that, you know, waiting for it to cool down. Waiting for the weather to cool down. I think we want to get warmer, don't we? I want it to be warmer. It's when you're in direct sun out there, though, it does feel really amazing. I cannot wait to go out there. But yeah, the things I wanted to discuss today was, one, I think I've passed a point where now the food doesn't look like my food. I can see a child eating a wrap, one of those wrap things. And I just think, oh, in the beginning, I was like, yes, I could probably eat that. Now I'm like, wow, what is that? What is that you're putting in your mouth? And I see them eating things like rice cakes and things like that. And I just look at it and think, fees in South Africa. I didn't know that. I feel like I should know that. I'm so sorry. I feel like I should know that. You probably have already told me that. It's been a bit of a heavy week at work. I do apologize. I feel like I should know that. But yes, it probably is hot there. So yeah, all the food just not looking like food. I remember thinking to myself, wow, if we had a sudden apocalypse, I could eat all of this up, because in desperate times I would eat this. And now it's got to the point where I'm looking at thinking, wow, I don't even think I'd bother. I think I'd fast. It's taken about 7 months to get to that point where I'd now be like, no, I would rather fast than eat anything that you've just shown me. We've got one child there who's been suffering with constipation, and he is literally on just fruit and veg now. And I'm just thinking, I did suggest to his mum that animal fat might help. But of course, you get the glazed eyes looking over you, thinking, what are you, some crazy woman suggesting I should give my son some animal fat? So his lunchbox is basically seeded wholemeal bread with jam inside and seed oil spread, and a few bits of fruit and a smoothie. There's no protein in there. There is no animal fat in there. And I look at these kids and I genuinely feel really sorry for them, but there's nothing I can do. Nothing I can say. I could get sacked for suggesting they come in with big hunks of fatty meat. So, and I've already been sacked twice before in my life for having opinions that go against the grain. Excuse the pun. So I'm not doing that again. So to let them do their own thing and hope that their mums and dads realise one day. There is one child that is literally eating just low-fat grains. A wrap, no protein inside it, some rice cakes, dry, unflavoured rice cakes, some granola bar and a bit of fruit. And that's their lunch. No protein, no fat. Absolutely crazy. Just drives me crackers. And that is the one, macronutrient that's been proven that we don't need. The carbohydrate. And some of them are eating purely carbohydrates. And then all the teachers are worried when they come back from lunch and they're all running around like lunatics in the playgrounds. I think they haven't eaten anything. They haven't eaten any food. They're just eating a bunch of sugar. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, had a funny chat with my colleague about my carnivore diet, waiting for her reaction. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad, Fee, about that. It does make me feel very sad, but I've had to get used to it. I've been working with children now since the beginning of 2018. And the whole of that time, I've known about this, and I just had to get used to it. Things are not improving. You may see a child with a little bit of a wafer thin bit of ham in there, but that's about it. Sam, no. Have you got duck eggs in your shop?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, it's a no.
I think quail eggs, but not duck eggs.
Quail eggs. Does anyone know if quail eggs are good?
Duck eggs are the massive ones, aren't they?
Massive, apparently.
They're quite big, aren't they?
Big. You not got any?
Do sometimes, but not at the moment.
Okay, well, let me know. Okay, so I've got my son on the lookout for duck eggs, and when they turn up, he will let me know because he's a good boy. Yeah, it is very sad about the children eating garbage. So what were you sacked for, George? I was sacked for being a rebel. That's how I ended up in construction. But there's loads of rebels in construction. You're not supposed to be a rebel and in a school, are you? I am the least. I'm actually really good with children, but I'm the person that should really least be in a school environment, because I cannot stand anything they're being taught, especially from year 2 upwards. Cannot bear the curriculum. I would scrap it. The amount of times I've said to teachers in the last few years, if it was up to me, I'd scrap the whole curriculum and start again. They don't really respond. They don't know what to say to it. They just carry on, because they think that what they're teaching the kids is fine. Amazing. But yes, the lunchbox is absolutely tragic. I've never seen such a disaster area. And we do provide snacks for them, and it's carrots and it's bananas and it's oranges and apples, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's been the same now. So I started working with children, so it's about 7 years now. And and it blows my mind every time they eat, and there's nothing I can do. Being an effective trade union rep, construction's full of misfits. I fit in. Maybe I should get into construction. Maybe I should, because I think I'd fit in with that if there's rebels and misfits in there. I can imagine me fitting in with a load. I've actually worked with men before. Well, I'm being a bit stereotypical there, but you generally do see more males than females in construction, generally. And I get in trouble for saying things like that. But I have worked in male-dominated environments before and fitted in fine. But yeah, so this is a new environment for me over the last sort of 7 or 8 years working with the little ones, and they're terrible food. And they're hungry all the time. And after lunch, they're just absolutely running around like, it's just... And he was like, why are they gone so... Why have all the children suddenly gone all what's the word? Feral or something like that? And I think, because they've just eaten a bunch of sugar. No, they didn't have that much sugar. We didn't let them have chocolate. Thinking, all carbohydrates turn to sugar. They're now just whizzing around, whiz, like out of some cartoon from the 70s that I can't remember the name of it now. Tell me what that cartoon is. The cartoon from the 70s, or is it 60s? We've got things whizzing around. Come on, I know one of you is going to know the answer to this. George, come on. Which one am I thinking of? That was out before I was even born, but they're just whizzing around. It'll come to you. One of my best mates is a 49-year-old female. That's me, isn't it? That's me. No, your best 49-year-old female friend is me, George. You met at construction college. Very cool. Yeah. And I bet she's a rebel and a misfit as well. I can't think of that cartoon now. I can't think of it. No, it's completely gone. It's not even one I even watched. But wasn't there some funny little character whizzing around? Well, that's what the kids are like. And they're bumping into each other. And I'm probably going to get sacked for saying this, but most of our accident reporting forms are written between 12 a.m. and 1 p.m. They eat between 11:30 and 11:45. And all of our accident forms are filled in between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. Take from that what you wish. But yeah, so we're at 38 minutes and 47 seconds. And I haven't really planned anything else to say. So unless people... we've got interesting now. Which bit's interesting? What I just said, possibly. I'm guessing you mean all the accident forms being filled in between 12 and 1 being interesting. Could possibly be. But I think it's interesting. And what's funny about that? What's funny about this whole accident form thing is the teacher, the lunch madness, yeah. The teacher of the class goes on her lunch break between 12 and 1. And we got a bit paranoid because it was like, why are all these accidents happening between 12 and 1? We've got enough staff. We have other staff come in. We have other staff come in to support. So we still have the same number of people. But I think at one point, the teacher, the main teacher of the class, thought it was just because she wasn't there that all these accidents were happening. But in reality, the children have gone completely feral. You can tell the difference in them, how they are between 10 and 12 and what they're like between 12 and 1 is just night and day. And I can see them just go whoosh. It's like children at a birthday party. You know what children are like after a birthday party? if you've ever had children that have parties and out comes the cake and half the mums go, oh no, here comes the sugar, here comes the sugar. Well, this is what's happening. And it is like being at a birthday party between 12 and 1. The kids are just whoosh and crashing into each other, bumping into each other. It's absolute madness. Yep. And I'm trying to be chilled because I'm, now surviving on my own body fat and having meat. I'm trying to be chilled, but feeling paranoid because I'm trying to lead all these kids that are just crashing into each other like crazy loons. And then they calm down again between 1 and 3. Very interesting. Yeah. Very, very obvious and very, very interesting. But yes, that's what I'm talking. I'm probably going to be sacked now, but I don't think anyone I work with watches the channel. I might learn something. You never know. Yeah. So I am going to call this quits and go and sit in the garden in a minute. So I've got 4 more minutes. If anyone wants to mention something or ask me anything else, but we've only got 7 people on here, but I know that lots of people that follow me will watch it back later. Hopefully Karen will turn up at some point, but I know Tanya will watch it back on repeat. Hope you're enjoying your walk this morning, Tanya. She likes to go for her morning walk. Hope you enjoy your swimming over the weekend. Yep, I had to include everyone in this, in my carnival family. But pretty tired after the week we've had and the not sleeping because Grandad ringing me up and trying to get out of the hospital. And so we had to ask the nurse to confiscate the phone because he kept getting out of bed. So yes, it's been an interesting, fun time, but I am not going in the carb ditch. Like I said, I've got my chicken in the oven. So I'm going to go outside with this glass of water, go and get some sun, and then eat all of the chicken, and then cook everyone else's dinner, and then go to the hospital. Ugh. Maybe I need some of the garbage these children eat. Maybe that'll make me go a bit wizzy. Oh, well, I'm going to get everything done. No, just kidding. I'm not going in the carb ditch, George. Don't worry. No carb ditch. Yeah, Jill says, get the sun in while you can. We never know when it will come back. It could be... Oh, I know. We talk about the sun in the UK. The weather is so ridiculous in this country. I can't believe anyone... No offense to anyone on this who's watching. I'm so sorry if I've upset you when I say this, but I find it hard to believe people in the UK believe in the climate change thing. If you do, that's okay. I mean, this is an opinion piece. This is just my humble opinion. But how the weather is so completely random in this country. I don't know how people can think that they're spotting any kind of pattern. I mean, 4 years ago on Book Day, I was wearing some tiger outfit for World Book Day in the playground, and it was -7. That's March, -7. I was wearing my tiger came to tea outfit. Okay, this year, next week, the weather is planning to be about 12 degrees plus. And I'm worried that my World Book Day outfit is going to be too hot. So that's a temperature difference of, 21 degrees difference? How anyone can think that we're successfully plotting weather in this country. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it. We're all adults here. We have our own opinion on stuff. That's just my personal opinion. George, you don't need to pull me out of the ditch. But it's nice to know that you would. It's nice to know that you would if it happens. And by that, he means the carb ditch. No, not happening. But anyway, I think I need to call it quits on this one and go and sit in the sunshine, wait for my chicken to cook, and just go and chill. So we will go on the search for duck eggs. I know my son will reliably inform me if they turn up in his shop. But I'm going to go now, signing out at 45 minutes. If I think of anything else, I'm going to tap it onto next week's Friday live at 2:45. I'm just absolutely crazy. But anyway, but it's lovely to see everyone. I am going to sign out, though. I am going to sign out. So, only one thing to say, isn't there? They're like, oh no, what's she going to do now? What's she going to do now? Nothing really, except have an amazing weekend. I'm going to do the video at some point over this whole not wanting what the children have got to eat. And I'd like to say Have a nice weekend. I might go have another drive in a minute. See you later. Crazy. She's crazy. She's gone around the twist, this one. She's gone around the twist. Anyway, see you later. Thank you everyone for coming. Bye.